Well, hello YouTube. Hello YouTube and everyone. Hey, we've got a special well, he's part of our family and he's going to really lead today, but I sense there's some new people and I'm really glad you're here and I wanted to tell you just a little bit about us. Of course you'll experience it, but just so it's not mysterious when you see the magic happen, I kind of want to explain who we are and how we go about things. So a few months ago, this really brave young woman approached me, wanted mentoring from me, and that was the beginning. Really, is Manpreet, by the way, in case y'all don't know, we're like father and daughter now. But I I was not prepared, frankly, for all the mentoring requests I was about to get, and I didn't want to turn any of them down. So instead of thinking of turning anything down, I just kept thinking of ways to do it. And when I started getting too many one-on-one call requests, I said, I think it'd be better if I just invited a lot of people and you asked your question in front of them. And then after I answer, you can hear what others want to give you too. Well, that's someone who's still very happy to be part of us. She can't come all the time, but I just want to point out, I watched her expression go from fear to being blessed, to being excited, because she realized what I told her was right. I can give you an answer and it'll probably help, but it won't be near as good as hearing from other people that want to help you. And that's who we are. And so Manpreet, I'm just going to ask you here online. You're telling me Sunny is going to lead us today. Please introduce, but we did have a thing prepared with Greg, I thought. Help me understand.
Um, no, so Greg is gonna do the ice breaking, and then Sunny would be sharing some interesting views on self-love and how we should be positive about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be
he's
great.
there. Yeah.
Um, should we do that before Greg or during Greg?
No, Greg would start with the ice breaking, and then Sunny would lead the session.
Actually, and by the way, Navina, hi. I'm so glad you're here today. Navina was the very brave woman that asked the very first question in our
Yeah,
very first mentoring
yeah.
session. And it was she that proved that it was a safe space and that we really love each other. But I want to point something out too. There is no leadership here. Well, there is, but it's not a person. There's a steward team, and it's me and Guy, Manpreet, Giovanna, who can't be here today, Tina, who's very busy in her new job but always wants to be here, Alec now. We'll probably add other people, but I want to point something out. This is the cool thing. The leader of integrated mentoring is a spirit, and the name of that spirit is more together. And I assure you won't need much of an introduction because you'll see more together today. And Greg, we're just so honored you're part of our community and you want to share this today. So I know everybody's been like really eagerly anticipating this, and I know I am too because I was loving the way you were talking about it. So Greg, the floor is yours, and I'll help you moderate, and I'll watch the chat for you. I'm kind of glad I don't have to do as much today. So please go.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom, and good morning, guys. Hopefully, you've had a great week. Uh, so, to build on what Tom was saying about the spirit, I wanted to do or continue what we started last week about manifestation of intent.
And Greg,
It's
do feel
it's
free to start over for those that didn't. Some people had to drop off early when you started. So please, it's okay if you start over. I think we would benefit from it.
Sure, no problem. And I'll provide a little bit of context about how um, I, I guess, tackle life, how I think about me changing my mind or projecting, uh, who I want to be tomorrow in 5 years, 10 years. And with that, I believe in the power of expressing yourself and talking to people, letting people know who you'd like to be, because you never know who you will encounter, who can give you a hand or help you get there. With that, I think, one thing to not be afraid of is that you are truly in control of your destiny, or at least you have to believe it. What I'm grateful about is joining a company like Amazon is where there's a culture of, you are really in charge of where you want to go next in terms of next position. And for that, you have to express yourself. What I realized is I missed on that on the past 7 years. What happened was I believed in hard work, in that my manager would always be able to, or I assumed that my manager would always be able to see the hard work that I was making and push me upwards. That's not going to be the case when you come into the real world. Like when you enter the workforce, or you're already there, you're probably experiencing it now, is that you have to be very intentional. You have to be able to express who you want to be, where you want to go next, and who you want to be next, or will change from time to time, and that's okay. The point is you have to express it and ask for help. What I did not do over the past 7 years is ask for help for my next step. I would work hard and then wait for the say an opportunity, a job position opens up, and then I would try to apply, only to be told I'm missing X, Y, Z. So in the framework that we are today, I'd like to open the floor to you guys to hear about who you want to be. And we're going to do a little bit of exercise. And what that is I want you to put it out there. Let us hear who you project yourself to be. Where do you see yourself, contributing to society? How you would like to help solve certain problems in life. So if you can take 15 seconds to think about who do you see yourself being in your career, at the peak of your career, put it on the side here in the chat section, and I will read it out loud so we can all hear it and ingest it. And with our power of intent, we think highly of you, so we can channel your energy towards that person that you want to be. So if you want to take 15 seconds, unless you already have it, can you please put down what you want to be or who you want to be at the peak of your career, and I'll start reading it out loud. And as I read it, I want you guys to focus on what I'm saying, so you can help whoever said whatever there, so we can reinforce it. One thing I wanted to say again, I believe in the power of projection. It simply means you channel your energy into a future outcome about yourself. And then you figure out what are the different routes, channels, tools, people you can get in touch with to reach that particular outcome. And the more you talk about something, the more intentional you are about it, the more actionable you are about it too. With that, I think a couple of them started to come out here. I know I don't want to take the whole time, but I'd love it if you gave me the honor of reading what your intentions are about yourself, so we can sort of create good karma around it. Shall I start at the top? Cool. And also, this exercise too is, here we are meeting every Saturday, right? Yet, personally, I'm not too sure what we all want to do. But my guess is that we all want to contribute in different industries. So that will give each of us an idea of what kind of diversity we have here in this group. And it's already a beautiful thing. I can tell you, I can expect people going from healthcare industry, manufacturing, tech, um, consulting, everywhere. So I'm pretty excited to read about your story and who you want to be. So let's go ahead and start. First one I read here. Deepa. Deepa wants to be a data analyst in the retail fashion industry in Seattle, Washington. So very precise. So with that, Deepa, what I would say is do not hesitate to talk about it and research or interview those who are already in that space and ask them how they got there, what are the skills they acquired, what resources they studied, or what kind of major they have also. And with that, Deepa, I know for sure you will become that data analyst in Seattle at some point for a retail fashion industry.
Yeah.
Memprit, I would be like both my parents, hardworking and never giving up and supporting each other and helping others. My inspirations are my parents. Deepak, from time to time, close your eyes and ask yourself, everything I do today, how far off is it from what my parents do or did in the past? Definitely you're at a clear advantage is that you're surrounded by them, I'm assuming, and everything they do, it's easy for you to observe. So you are well on your way to achieve that. Smiling Sunny wants to teach.
Greg, real
Yes.
quick, I am blown away. This is so good what we're seeing in the chat. Guys, before you lose it, or if you want to reword it, put it in family chat so we preserve it a little longer. I kind of want to keep a record of these if y'all wouldn't mind. This is great.
I have a good idea for this. What we could do is, like Greg said, who is working and what is, we can have a Google form in which everyone can fill their contact if they want to be like email, their LinkedIn profile and what they're doing and what they would like to collaborate on. And that actual sheet could be for read only for everyone to see and contact anybody they want to.
We could do both. Alec has a question. Greg, I'm gonna let you moderate the hands up. But put it. We'll let Manpreet do what she's saying for us, but also put them in family chat if you're willing. And Greg, it looked like Alec had a question.
Yeah, hi. So not a question, but just a small point I would like to add what Manpreet said. So apart from the profile link and what they wish to learn, so we just could add two more points in detail, like what things you know well, what things you know at intermediate level, and what things you want to learn. So that way we can share each other's tech skills and help people to grow in their respective areas, not just part of ML, but in all the other stuff they want to learn technically. That's what I'm going to say. Thanks.
I love both ideas, right? Both Toms, so we can preserve and continue to learn from each other, and Minpreet's too. It's superb because that's exactly right. So we are in a community right now, and speaking in, expressing yourself about who you want to be, you'll find somebody among us who's probably seen it before, who can lend you a hand and help you get to point, B. You might not get to point Z with this group, but you might get to point B or C, so we can support each other. So it's a great support exercise. And to go a little bit fast, I'm seeing 15 more messages I haven't read. What I will do here is, if you hear me read this, is that I am also projecting you into that future, that person you want to be. And as you hear me read it out loud, project that person to that future you want to be. So I won't say, hey, do so, you can do it. I won't give you necessarily a motivational answer after I read your piece, but know that my intention is there. So, and this will allow us to go a little bit faster so I can have a chance to manifest your intention loudly and clearly and put that energy out there in the universe for you to become that person. So let's go. Asai Vazran. I want to apply data science in chemical engineering. in oil and gas industry, particularly in company like Schlumberger. I'm gonna say that in French. Sorry for my accent here. Look, I wish to be an efficient solution provider, a mentor to my friends at my best level, and help them to become the best version of themselves. Thank you, Alok. Elian Prasad. So please forgive me if I'm kind of pronouncing your name a little bit wrong. I have all sorts of accents here coming out. I want to be a lifetime learner. In my life, I love involving in communities and help communities as I can. Integrate brilliance to achieve the next AI breakthrough and hoping that breakthrough will break intellectual monopoly. Awesome. Surav, research scientist in artificial intelligence and mentor other people. Thank you, Surav. Vikram, ML researcher in finance, healthcare domain, and at some prominent company. Vikram, you have a question? Please go ahead.
And along with that, I want to be like Tom to mentor for people and achieve their goals, to spread my wisdom so that everyone will be helped.
You will be better than me, Vikram.
Awesome, awesome. And by the way, you will never feel, and that's my belief, you will never feel the wrath of nature when you are genuinely want to help. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You'll never feel that wrath. So Brendan Jenkins, my goal is to be a general manager for an MLB organization. I want to find the best balance of baseball and data. That's awesome. That's awesome. Vincent Siren, I'm sorry again, French accent here. Data scientist in a big financial firm also has to be mentor to others. Thank you. Manpreet, you have a question?
No, I just have to say, if we all see this and we see Geo's vision statement in front of us, it would be the road path where we want to be, and this is how she teaches us to have that in mind. And this is what is actually our vision statement should be, that what we want to be in the coming years. Thank you for putting this up.
Yep. And also remember, iterate. Don't be afraid to iterate. Early in my career, the epitome of it was a plant manager. Today, I want to be a product manager for ML products within the next 2 to 3 years. I'm pretty sure tomorrow it will change too. I also want to be an entrepreneur. So here I am. I just put mine out there. So please project me in that future. Vikram, you have another question? Okay, if you don't mind raising, lowering your hand, and then Tom.
Greg, I just had a fatherly concern here for the group, and back me up, and Greg, please disagree with me. It's okay, guys. It's okay if you don't know what you want to become yet, but do work on it. And I totally agree with what Greg said too. It's so important. It's certainly okay to iterate on these things. It may change very frequently over the next few years, but what you'll find, it'll settle out over time. And that's because you're very much like a reinforced learning agent. So don't feel like that's strange if it happens to you. And then you might know it now and it'll never change. That's okay too.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. Absolutely. I fully agree with you. Tanmay wants to become a data scientist analyst, and I want to contribute towards medical field. We have quite industries around here, so that we can reduce death ratio. Awesome. That's awesome. Zena, I am seeing myself evangelizing revolutionary AI products somewhere around the world in a big company with long stairs. That's awesome. Keep projecting that. Navina, my only motto, be good, do good. Help as much as you can and do not expect anything in back. I am a graduate student at Cal State Fullerton, specializing in business analytics. Awesome, Navina. Thank you so much. Vinash, researcher, research scientist, and help others learn the skill and share what I learn and know. You can do it. Evan, Minko, give people a platform or safe place to express themselves and contribute their value to a larger community. Director of Analytics for a national health system. Thank you, Kevin. Magdi, feel-good facilitator, who is also mentoring and guiding people in their transitions. Now, as I read through this, realize we are all wanting to contribute to society, and that's what matters, right? Chantanil, at the peak of my career, I want to be a leader and mentor who can drive positive change in society. Thank you, Chantanil. Now, man, I want to develop ML skills and mechanical engineering skills and use them in space industry. Awesome. To enjoy everything, every part of my life. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Naviv, CEO of a company that networks business leaders, solutions providers, and government to create human-centric, privacy-protected, computer-generated learnings to solve sustainable development goals. Nothing big. And it can get bigger. That's awesome. Olga, I think my ultimate goal is to be able to build AI tools that helps people sustain their well-being and health. Thank you, Olga. Preet, become a data scientist and help in attaining sustainable agriculture growth. Another industry here, thank you. And help farmers bridge the gap between farm to table. I want to research on predicting future food demands based on past patterns and utilize the data in designing an efficient food supply chain. Amazing. Anything else am I missing here?
We have few new people who don't say much. I think it would be great if they also say something about their thing. Like, I guess Saurabh came for the first time, so he would share what he. I know Shubham is there. So
Yep.
it would be great if you could all also come. Abdul is there. He also didn't share, I guess. So
Yep.
it would be great hearing them.
Yep, no problem. I'm seeing some more here from Jonathan Papworth. Shift, change my career to data scientist and be able to give back by supporting others wanting to break into the field. And by the way, again, like Tom said, you don't have to zone in. If you're, stating something general, as you go through, as we keep meeting, hopefully you'll zone in onto certain things you want to try, and it's okay to try. It's best to try and figure out or discover the things you don't want to do versus getting stuck at something you don't want to. So again, Martine, I'm a beginner in the research stadium. I'd like to contribute in AI to the positive changes to mankind by quality control and quality assurance. Yushi, becoming a data analyst and lead a community of budding data analytics. Thank you. Timothy would like to create a model which would fetch and organize financial data from SMS and bank statements to the simplest format that can be retrieved easiest for my mother. Would love to. Awesome, Timothy. Thank you so much. It's awesome. It's truly overwhelming. Timothy Agavi would also love to get a job at a renowned company, Lee and AI, Google, the financial and be financially stable. Thank you. Mani, want to become a data scientist in civil engineering. My mom is a civil engineer. Thank you so much. And she's a chemical engineer too. using data science skills to analyze traffic data to design transportation networks. I would also like to mentor other people. That's amazing. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Naman. Believe it, believe in it. All right, so did I miss anybody? Abdul, open a business creating ML or AI products, become a mentor and a leader in the DS community. Thank you, Abdul. Wait, my favorite part of AI is computer vision. I had done real-time project using CV in my college. In future, I wish to work in military application. Thank you very much, Adwait. Now, did I miss anybody? Sai, do you have a question or comment?
I have a comment. Apart from data scientists, I also want to work on the production of the green hydrogen through carbon footprint. I really want to reduce the use of the hydrocarbons in a growing industry because I feel this is a root cause. And I want to more emphasize on that reduction of the gray and blue hydrogen and increase of the green hydrogen. That's what I really wanted to do in future too.
Awesome, Sai. Thank you. Anybody else? Ngozi says, grow my data consultancy. That's awesome.
Greg, I have a philosophical question. Why is this blessing us? Why are we enjoying reading each other's visions? I can't quite put my finger on it.
So for me, the world is made of energy we can't see. We can feel, I guess why we're enjoying this is because we're channeling that energy by hearing it. We're channeling our energy into manifesting or bringing it to life. I guess to me, it's our human nature to be able to, you can call it a spiritual energy. It's kind of hard for me to express. So laws of attraction, yes, Kimani. In prayer of the many, it's hard for me to answer that.
I also think it's about sharing the way you feel for it and how you get responded by the community with so much enthusiasm and positivity, and that creates it whole positive.
Absolutely. And also it's about finding the person who can help you too, right? If I stay silent, you won't know who I am, right? If I don't ask for help, and you're not gonna find the person who could help you. What I'm learning in the world of especially entrepreneurship, what I'm learning through LinkedIn is crossing that step where you become someone who can talk or express yourself. That's how you find others who can think like you. That's how you find people who align with what you believe in. And that's how you build a community. And that's how you build in general. That's how you grow. That's how you learn with others. You will not hear anyone in this world achieve anything big alone. I don't believe in that story. I believe that you can move mountains as a community. And if your intention is to move mountains, you have to shout out of your lungs to find others who would like to move mountains with you. And that's why I believe in this exercise. And that's probably why you feel good about reading others' story, because they truly express how much we care about humanity, how much we want to help advance humanity. So that's my belief. Ngozi, you have a question?
Not a question. I actually just wanted to chip into, what you're saying about why we enjoy reading from others and about other people's what they want to achieve, their vision. I think I'll just borrow something from my ancestral home in Africa. So we have something we call Ubuntu, and it's that sense of community that you are more because we are. So there's something I pick up, a vibe from you that drives my own energy that, makes me strive to achieve a bit more. Because I can see you taking a step, I'm not so tired, even though I'm behind you, but I can see you far off still working. I can take more steps to attain and get where you are. So that sense of community is what drives, groups like this when people, and every single thing we've said today, I can't see anyone that has said, all I want to do is, do something just for my own good. Everybody is almost like they have got something they want to have other people benefit from whatever they're doing. So that whole sense, that's is what's so appealing about hearing from other people and airing your own ideas of the future. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Gazi, I think that's good. May I interject, Greg? Just real quick. I guess what's happening is proving what I said at the beginning. The real leaders of this session is a spiritual energy named More Together.
That's right. I do believe so too. In Kushal, I don't believe I read yours out loud yet. Kushal, at peak, I aim to be deep learning, vision, NLP pioneer, and DL mentor to all geeks, nerds in the world. I want to spread my love for AI more in society. Thank you, Kushal. I appreciate reading that. Yes, I do believe so too, Navina. We're all eager to help others, and that's part of the reason why it feels good to read about this, right? We're discovering about ourselves that in this group per se, and kudos to you, Thom, and team, and Minpreet for putting this together, is that through this community, we're able to find a common ground, which is, contributing to society, augment the human capabilities through manipulation of data, through AI and data science. That's what we want to do. It's already happening. We just want to be inside of that channel across multiple industries. So thank you guys for giving me a chance to express or manifest your intentions, and let's all work to making it happen. And the most important thing is do not give a timeline. Focus more on actionable steps. The time will take care of itself. You can have a plan, you working towards that plan. You can put a timeline on this, but the time should not be the top priority. The top priority is the small habits that you build towards taking those actionable steps. Vikram? Question,
Yes,
comments?
Greg. No, it's like a request because there are few people who joined new today, so I would like you to explain the working backwards approach so that people can know, new people can understand it.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. And the working backwards, and to give you a little bit of context, is what we go by, especially at Amazon, to either create a new product or create a new program, and figuring out how to deliver that product or program. So working backwards simply means you're starting with the endpoint, which is most of the time a customer you're trying to serve, or an output you're trying to achieve, say more sales, or this customer pain point you're trying to eliminate. then you work backwards to figuring out what is the solution, what is that experience looks like, what does that experience look like for that solution. Now, the working backwards, since I started learning it, I said, why not apply it in your life, right? And thank you again, Vikram, is that this exercise we just did here is something that we can use to work backwards. What you just did right now was project yourself into a future state and then work backwards to make it happen. That's all it is. Those little actionable insights that you do are the ones that will gradually move you to that end point. And that's what the intention behind working backwards is. Deepa, you have any questions?
Yes, Greg, I just wanted to add something. So after our last week's discussion, where you mentioned that we should work backwards, what I did as a personal exercise was I searched in, I believe in being a little more specific to what I do. So what I went and did was I searched the data set. As I said, I want to be a data analyst. So that's not my life goal, but that's the next goal that I want to be. So what I did is I went and searched in LinkedIn, Indeed, and a couple other websites, data analyst positions. I wrote the skill sets that many companies are asking for which ones I have, which ones I don't have, so that I can learn those things. And I got an understanding like, okay, I'm missing these things and I have to work on those. So just wanted to add like how just we just ended up abruptly, like we said we will continue today, but that one thing, that what you said, like we need to work backward, it stuck me. And it was there for 2 days. I didn't do anything for 2 days, but it was there. But I have to mention about Maggie. We were trying to connect for a couple of days because she, I don't know, she has this kind of, let me first tell you, she is one person whom I connected, and she always, whenever she sees anything interesting, like a new course or something, she used to ping me personally and say, okay, why don't you see this? It's for free, or they're giving a deal or something. I was really touched by that. One or two messages where, now we chat often, but that's something we always say that, okay, we'll chat, but it never happens. But this group, right, this group is different. Like I was telling how Thom helped me. I posted something on LinkedIn. Nobody, it's not like likes or comments, but when somebody if somebody likes or comments in your post, for a beginner like me, it is a big thing. Like, okay, somebody read my post. And Thom made me realize that that's not it. It's like, share things and you will one day you will be noticed, or at least you're learning something. That's what he said. But I was very happy with that one comment. Okay, coming back to Magdi, we did connect last week and she said, okay, why don't you post it? And I started, I just posted because I was holding myself not doing it for some reason. I don't know. I was holding something, and last week when I attended, a lot of things came back, and I was so happy coming back to this group. And I just wanted to say that.
That's awesome. And I know you have a question, Thom, but I wanted to address something real quick that you mentioned, Deepa. You mentioned about the inside of the work backwards, that you're able to make a list of skills that is required to become the data analyst.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys for all of this, it is exactly what you need to do to get to the next step. What Deepa did there was surface the gaps. Right now, I'm trying to go from this position to that position. My intention is to express myself to my manager or anybody who can help me regards to here I am with the current skills that I have, surfacing those gaps and asking whoever can help me on how to close those gaps. That's what it's all about when it comes to getting a promotion, getting to that next job, or getting to this new position, is how do you figure out how to close the gap? It's all about this, closing the gap, right? So thank you, Deepa. You did that exercise. And quickly, too, I wanted to read Vikram, who did an awesome job summarizing what work backwards look like. So Vikram, portray yourself into the future and find where you want to see yourself in it. Write down and list all the skills you need to reach that position. Find all the resources, people as well, we are resources, which will help you in mastering, learning those skills. Break down each into smaller steps and achieve each of them so that when you combine all of these small steps, you become the big picture. Find mentors in this process who can help and reach out to those who can help you achieve those as well. Another one too to add is continuously revisit your North Star vision, iterate, refine it as you gain more skills and experience. So just wanted to make sure I reiterate that. Thom, please go ahead.
I just wanted to encourage you guys with something, and I'm curious if Greg feels the same thing. So, you know, a lot of my posts do get a lot of reactions and comments, but not all of them. And God, there's this one guy though.
All of them, Thom. All of them get reactions. All of them.
Well, but some that I hoped would get a lot more reactions don't get very many reactions.
Your comments on my post have more likes, I guess, sometime than my post itself.
He's being modest now, you see.
No, I need y'all to listen for a minute. There's a point here. So seriously though, some posts that I thought, I'm just sharing something, this is just fun, they almost go viral. And then some posts that I think are like the most important posts I've ever written, they don't do as well as those other ones. But I'm going to confess something. Sometimes I struggle with jealousy towards a friend of mine who I can post something at the same time as him and just watch the comments go like this, and that's Greg Kikuyo. But anyway, Greg, that point, have you ever felt that frustration where this post is really important and it's not getting that much reaction and engagement comment-wise, whereas this one was kind of light and fluffy and it just went real big? I just wanted you to speak to that because of what Deepa was saying.
Yeah,
absolutely. Can I just jump in and say you're not alone, Thom? just so it's out there in the open. And Deepa, I sent you a message. I hope you saw it. So link with me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Carry on, Greg.
How much control do you think that you have over that? Is that something that you put out there and you manifest? You decide I'm putting out this great content and I know someone's going to like it, or is it completely out of our control and it doesn't matter what we do?
Yeah. So that's a great point. Great point, Kevin. I definitely experienced that too, Thom. I only experience it because I have different level of pleasure I take in building a post. And in writing it, I can feel the excitement. And that's when this disappointment settles. But at the end of the day, we control nothing, just like Kevin's point. The only reason we feel disappointed is because we have expectations based on the excitement of the pride that we take into creating something or writing something that we truly care about. And the reality is the community that you will build around that post will vary, right? This is truly expressing how unique you are and what you value. What you truly value, you might be posting about different things. And if you go back to the list of things you posted, you're probably going to select the things that you truly care about. And the things you truly care about, it doesn't necessarily translate to the number of people who are following your post, right? But because you talk about different things throughout the course of these posts, you will find different pockets of people of interest, right? So it's only about, you were excited about talking, you're excited about, creating a post around a subject that truly matters to you, that is super exciting. And disappointment means you simply didn't, reach that community who aligned with you on it. Doesn't mean it's less valuable. But the ones you did find who expressed themselves, they found value in it, and that's what should matters. So at the end of the day, we should all remove ourselves from the output that LinkedIn is designed to show you as valuable, which is likes or comments and things like that. We should only feel, good about just sharing, right? So I get put in that trap all the time too. I gave you guys the example of that entropy thing. I just wanted to do a play of words between the movie Tenet's reverse entropy with entropy in nature, and the play of words with cross entropy that we use in machine learning. So I thought it was fun, and I took a lot of pleasure building it. And it was probably one of the lowest reactions. Then I was like, why am I upset about this? I still had fun. I saw other people who liked it. Timothy Gordon told me, hey, I love it. So I'm like, yes, so that's what matters, right? So that particular one was this special project that I really enjoyed, that I really aligned with. But did everybody watch Tenet? Probably not. So my community is reduced. Does everybody understand cross entropy or where it comes from? Probably not. Based on the amount of people who are following me, I'm reducing my community even more around that post. So that's what happens. So it's an exercise, easier said than done. But at some point, it's all up to us to free ourselves from people's reactions, because to Kevin's point again, we do not control them. Mempreet?
Yeah, I had this doubt. So when you put up anything on LinkedIn, do you actually plan it that this is the audience and this is that, or you just put up what you really like to wish and you really like what you had learned and you really wish to share it? Because some people put it with the perspective of getting some business or popularity. What is your thought process when you do it, because you have a very huge LinkedIn community that is dependent and looks up to you for your work? So what is your thought process for it?
Yeah, so thank you for this. So my thought process is going to sound super corny, is every time I read a subject and I have a aha moment, I share it. For some reason, it's just a gut feeling that someone else will enjoy it too. Now, when I share with the intention of simplifying the interpretation of what I learned, because a lot of time I could read an article 5 times and still don't get it until one time I hit that one article that clicks. And then I feel comfortable sharing it in my own words sometimes, where it makes sense. And in that case, most people would gravitate towards that. And for me, I don't have, my intention is not to become this superstar and things like that, but I grew that audience through consistency, I guess. And one thing too is I am able to, what I discovered about myself is that I can understand a big picture. And what I strive to do, which is something that I didn't do around academia and early in my career is to try and understand how science is connected to real life. And I'm always looking for articles that speak to that. And in that search over the past years, whenever I see what you call business use cases, and I can understand how those techniques that you guys are learning or we're all learning around data science can improve these business use cases, it creates that aha moment for me that helps me share with the audience and most likely relate to the audience. So what I can tell you is learn data science while thinking about where and how it's applicable in real life. That is going to help you grow your career much faster. In university, I remember, and because I come from a French culture where you are born to just retain information and spit it out on paper through test, the practical side of learning is not really strong, especially in the French system, me growing in Haiti. So when it comes to, for example, you learn chemistry, you learn the bonds, et cetera, and reactions. But when it comes to doing experiment in labs, to see it in real life, I lack that. So for this in college, I aced my math classes, aced everything, but just because I wanted to pass the class. When it comes to learning while thinking about real life applications, I did not do it. So my first 7 years of my career, I did not really focus on that. It was all about perform the job, get, a salary raise, find a job opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. I did not think about, okay, I'm in the world of data. Where else can I impact? How can data really transform a business? And I started that really, trajectory over the past 2 years only, where I started, thinking about data with intention of, the techniques that we use around it, connecting that to real cases. And every time I learn something new, share it, layman terms, and that happened to connect with people. Surab, you might have a question or comment.
No, Greg, I was pondering on the thought about as Thom was speaking that when we go on LinkedIn, how do we create the content and having that expectation on the content around whether it is going to go well or not. So I had few of my learnings of probably what I think about it. So firstly, for all of you to know, this is my first time. My name is Saurabh. I'm a creator of Alpha AI, and maybe few of you might already know me or seen me somewhere. So what I learned is whenever I do simple content, right, without like no fuss around it, very basic stuff, I see that on LinkedIn it gets the maximum engagement. And whenever I try to pour my heart out there, try to be more creative, more Saurabh, and I have figured out I have failed. Like I'm not failed miserably, I'll say I have failed like double miserably. So I feel really bad about it, right? That hey, I worked so hard. I thought it will be super exciting, and people will be able to see something what I just discovered. So at times I personally feel bad when I actually work very hard on that one piece of content, try to showcase. And out of this frustration, I started my LinkedIn journey more around thinking all the analytics in the world is not actually real analytics, but it was reporting. And I was falling short on creating content because my content used to be very, very technical around it. So just to answer that question, I personally feel bad when my content does well, but at the same time, I realize that whenever I do some very specific content, as Greg suggested, very few people might like it. Even like in his content, like by Timothy, it is well enough. I feel good about it over there. And people who are new to on creating content, whenever we do basic content, any one of you, whenever whoever does that thing, it is guaranteed to have some more success. But thanks. I just wanted to share that.
Saurabh, Thank you. This is I've been following you for a little bit, and this is the first time that I've heard you speak. And there's a sense of calmness, and I like the way that you speak. It's nice to listen to. So I'll say that for now. I also wanted to build on a couple of things that you guys were saying, because you were saying something similar, but you didn't quite say the word, and that I think it comes back to motivation. And we were talking about this like external and internal motivation. So the extrinsic motivation is, I want to do a good job. I want to appear well to my peers. I want to get this promotion. I want to make this money. But the actual process and the things that you can build and create action behind is the intrinsic motivation, which is I do the thing for the sake of doing it, not for the means to the end, but just because I want to do it and I enjoy it. I enjoy the process. So I often think about that, even in having the conversation with you guys today. It's like, why am I here? What do I have to contribute? And a lot of times I want to say something, and then I just, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and listen, because I know that you all have amazing minds and you have something of value to share. So sometimes I just want to listen, but I also want to be able to give back. And I think everyone has their strengths. So like, Vikram is really good at packaging these things up and putting them into a message that then someone can read and go, oh, wow, that was very insightful. But it's a collective consciousness of all the things that we're talking about. It's not just coming from one person. So I won't say I have an exact point here, but I'm just trying to bring some of the thoughts that we have together. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. I do believe, I think Navina was before Ngozi, so I can remember, forgive me if I got the order wrong. So, Ini Mini Mani Mo, Navina, go.
Thank you. I just want to say, everyone, just like what everyone has been saying, that not to feel bad about likes and comments, because first thing you people are doing is posting it, right? That's a great thing we are doing. Like, that's the initial step you have to take, the courage you get to post something on LinkedIn. And sometimes, for me personally, what happens is people view my content, view my post. Some like it, but some, they uh, they don't like the post, but they text me directly saying your post is very good, it is very insightful, it is helpful. So you never know who likes the post, you never know who is learning from your post, but it is definitely being helpful. So never look for likes or comments, it is definitely helping someone, and we are happy for that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I'm going to build real quick on what Kevin said too earlier about what can you control. Don't forget that the way LinkedIn itself was built is something you can control either, right? So the less people who express themselves on your post, the less the algorithm will publish it to others, right? Because it's calculating those signals as oh, maybe that post people don't really find it interesting, so let me not print more views of it, which in turn creates less engagement, right? And with that, you can leverage some tricks, right? So us humans, we love consistency, we love habits. And if you become somebody of habit, meaning you post around certain time, you will, meet the expectations or the subconscious expectations of those who've seen you every day posting something new. And subconsciously, prior to going to work, for example, they open their LinkedIn and they know that your post will show up, and they always engage with it. So that really helps you grow, because consistently, LinkedIn is built. It's a system to built by men and women, of course. And you will see that it will probably see it as signal for pushing it more if you have consistency in terms of engagement around posting at the same time. So there are multiple tricks you can use. Ngozi?
Yeah, hi, thank you. What you said, Greg, is very, very true. And it's also important to reach a wider spectrum. So sometimes I change the time I post. Maybe, and that is why probably I met you, because if you consistently post the same audience, it's also very possible you stay in that same pool. So sometimes you switch it up because it's a global meeting place. And when people are going to work in America, people are going to sleep in the UK where I live. So different things. But the other thing I wanted to point out is that we feel a lot of pressure on our post, going viral. I'm just going to use that word, whatever that will mean to you as an individual, because of the expectations or the place we are at. So if you're looking for a job and you're posting something about looking for a job, it hurts when there's no reaction to it. And if you're using it, but if you're in a place of you've got a job and you're posting your learning, then it's sort of massaging your ego because that people like what you do. So I'm just saying that there are different levels of expectation we build around posts on LinkedIn that then make how they be, how people react to them or how people interact with those posts that become very personal depending on where we are at. So there is this one of, well, Greg is LinkedIn top voice, and why is my, even if I copied what he says verbatim and I said, Greg, your post tomorrow, can you just send it to me? So I post it in my name, it's unlikely to attract the same reaction. It's just that because it's coming from me, there's that, and it's a giving. But all I just wanted to encourage everyone to do is look beyond what that post has done today, because whatever it is you want, depending on what you're looking for, sometimes it only takes one person, and someone else said it before. Some people will reach out to you privately. They're the lurkers who would not say anything on the post, but who will reach out to you. So if it's a job or business or contact, there might be those that have seen it who do not acknowledge that they've seen it. But I think it's important to be visible there and share what you know. Manage your expectations. Don't write a post thinking it's going to go viral. If it does, beautiful. If there's only one, like, beautiful. But always, hope that at least one person would find value in it. That's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Ngozi. And before I go to Vikram, I wanted to say, please mention, do not associate your number of followers to your successful career. Those are two different things. Just because I have a lot of followers doesn't mean my career is going well. So I am struggling to understand why this pressure around posting on LinkedIn. What really matters is, how else are you contributing to society? Whenever LinkedIn has been the only way to contribute to society, there's a lot of ways. So let's dissociate those two. You have your career, then you have this thing. Again, ask yourself, what do you get out of it, which is LinkedIn? So dissociate the two. Many followers doesn't mean great career. You can have one follower, for all I know, and you're the best at moving mountains. So please, let's make sure we understand the difference between the two. Vikram?
Yes, Greg, I just want to say what you said. Don't rely on the number of followers you have. Just post what you want to help, what you want to write, so that it can help others. For example, Kevin said about the motivation. So when I first posted about the learnings of this session, many people reached out to me regarding this session, how to join the session, etc. And I didn't find their engagement on the post. At that time, I thought, okay, this is gonna help many people. So, and again, then I started writing these things. And today, for the Tom's podcast, which I shared, all the comments and engagement, everything, I don't know many people. So, if you want to reach out to people, just post it, don't expect anything. And also, one should be aware of the LinkedIn algorithm. It works very, what you say, confusing. It That's it.
Yeah, and before I go to Brendan, can you imagine, guys? So I always think about that too. For example, Mother Teresa. Can you imagine if she would ever be Mother Teresa that the world knows, if she thought, well, if I give, they should give me some. But the audience that she chose to give to, she knew they weren't necessarily in a position to give anything back. So when you give, just give. Like, there shouldn't be some bad intention behind it. Just give freely if that's what you want. And I think LinkedIn is truly that too, at least part of it. Unless you're someone who's trying to find a way to earn a living, which is fine as well. But I have a feeling that's not what we all want yet here. In that case, is probably build an audience, build a community, and learn together. So in that case, give. Don't expect anything really in return. As cliche as that sounds, it has its merits. Brendan?
Yeah, I absolutely love that point. Wait, yeah, okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I love that point of just giving without expecting anything in return, because that's authentic. So one thing I want to say is, when you post, be authentic. Don't just post for your likes and engagement. Post something that's actually interesting to you. And then also, I wanted to add on Kevin's point, where you want to fall in love with the process of just getting better. That's what I learned at USF when I was playing baseball, was fall in love with getting better every single day. And maybe that's only a little bit. Maybe it's something like different that's not work. Just get better every single day, fall in love with that process, and you'll see over time that you like how great that will affect you and others.
Absolutely. Anybody else will need to add some more things? Thank you, Brendan. And Magdi?
Yeah, I just want to quote something in this relation, and it is from Gaur Gopal Das, and he said that what screws us up most in life is the picture, just a minute, in the picture in our head of how it is supposed to be. And I think this relates to the expectations, what also Brendan said, that if you leave behind the expectations that, for example, you want to get something back in return, and you just leave everything because it's limit yourself, you limit your head, because you think, okay, I did my best, I did all these efforts to put this together, and it is so an outstanding topic I'm writing about. Just forget about it, that how many likes you will get. I mean, you did it first of all for you, and then secondly, you did it for a community, a society who is reading it. And if even one person feels that you touched with your post, or you get a point, or you direct the perspective of that person to a different direction, or you trigger a question, you did your job, even knowing it. I mean, even that person will connect with you, or send a like or a comment, because maybe he's too shy to do that. But you shouldn't underestimate the power of your post, even there is no visible outcome of it. So try to work first on yourself as well, not to be jealous. I know that we are all human, so obviously you expect comments and you expect likes and you expect that, yeah, I'm doing better than Greg, or I'm doing better than Thom. But at the end, you have to satisfy yourself, and you should feel good about it. And if you bring this negativity inside, then you will not feel about it, that you posted, and then doesn't trigger the next post. And it is really sharing your knowledge, for obviously for yourself as well, so from a little bit egoistic way, but it's fine. I mean, yeah, you have knowledge, you have skills, why shouldn't you share if you feel like sharing? And choosing a topic, yeah, choose what makes you passionate, or what your interest, and it doesn't matter that 10,000 people will read it, or 5.
Thank you.
That would be my...
Yeah, thank you so much. That's very well said. And at the end of the day, you want to free yourself from the emotion, right? Because if your true intentions were to share, then you don't have to say, well, are you going to say thank you? Right? You don't have to expect that, right? So because your true intention was sharing. I know you have your hand raised, Roxelle, but I know Sai reached out to me too. You wanted to say something, if you allow me, Sai.
Yeah. Thanks, Rick. I just wanted to add that when I first initially joined LinkedIn, I was very conscious about how to write posts and all. So I just need to figure out what works for me. So I figured out that commenting on some others' post also works for me, because whenever I used to comment on any post, that guys used to either reach out to me, many other guys used to reach out to me, like connect with me to increase the LinkedIn network, which I felt is a good way to increase the visibility initially. And afterwards, thanks to Tom, the first day I spoke to him, he used the word constructive criticism of any post is also a good thing. So I also use from that time, from the next time, whenever I used to post, I used to make sure whatever he's posting, I used to research on it and then try to comment on it so that it increases the value addition to both the person who is posting it and also to me. So that's what I feel.
So I wanted to touch on something real quick too. Hang on, Roxo. So let's not forget, from what I understand, I don't think recruiters recruit based on what you post. And one thing we haven't talked about enough is how to create a killer profile. A killer profile is what will get you a lot of much more visibility, especially when they use their tools to search for candidates.
We touched on it, Greg, with regard to profile, your portfolio, but we certainly could talk about it a lot more. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not forget about that, right? We want to focus on, yes, posting and building audiences, but your LinkedIn profile itself needs to tell a story about who you are, what you've worked on. You can have Greg, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to add to reinforce what you're saying right now. I don't get recruiters reaching out to me because of my posts. They reach out to me because of my profile.
Exactly. So let's focus on that. Let's have more conversations around that. And you have your GitHub, link them to your LinkedIn. You have other places that you're working on projects, bring them to LinkedIn. Complete all of the signals that LinkedIn asks you to complete in your profile for when people search, you will keep on showing up in that search query. Now, remember, on LinkedIn, you are like an item in Google. When you search, you're at the top of the search results. What you want to do is optimize your profile so you can become one of those who show up at the top results all the time, every time different recruiters search for you. That's what you want to focus on. And the other one should be secondary. Roxo, you're on mute.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, World Wild. Hi, people. It's very good to be here. Hi, Greg. I am the team now. Okay, I'm very happy. Well, talking about this to donate back to that subject, to donate himself to others. I don't know. I'm living such a reality that I just can't tell that is true, because look, many good things are happening with me in a very short space of time that I never had before in my life. Also, I decided to live myself in my entirely self. I decided to be happy, decided to make others happy, because when I make the others around the next ones happy, it's better to me, because they will treat me good. If I start to punch or kick everyone, think what it won't occur to me. They will get back will give me back the same treatment. So when you give the good actions, good gestures, like a simple smile. Oh, Greg, how nice is your hood? Wow, I like the ethnic themes. Okay, this makes you feel bad, feel good. Sorry. And when I decided to follow this philosophy by myself, because I want to do. It doesn't matter if I'm hungry. It doesn't matter if I have an employed or if I'm a lot of full of bills in my table. This won't change my way to behave because it's I adopted this because what we have. Tell me, you please. This is real. Are you really hearing and seeing me, or they are just glittering pixels inside our ahead of our eyes? We don't know, but if this is reality, yes, we are all connected. So we are approaching a moment of the human history and maybe trying to develop more our consciousness towards to a new way to discover, to perceive ourselves in a connection with others, with other, not only others, but all the creatures, other stuff, things start to, when we adopted this, I believe this, okay, for me, when you adopt this mentality, the universe starts to um, give you back the same vibrations. I always heard about that, but the secret, the book, I don't know if someone believes or not. But when I started to practice in my life, a lot of good things are happening to me. And this meeting is the proof of this. Okay, you are
Roxelle, I mean, there's a
witnesses.
reason. There's a reason why you're here with us, right? There's a reason why we're all here speaking to each other. It's because of that. So thank you for speaking to that.
Much beyond the mentoring, the careers, but this is what I want to share with you. Okay.
You know, absolutely. Thank you so much, Roxelle. And you know what you spoke of is a mindset that we should all adapt and apply. It's all about the mindset, right? And at the source, you have what you call resilience, right? When you practice resilience and you keep a positive mindset, no matter the outcome, you keep going. You can call it goals. A goal never stops. It changes. You reach one, you go after the other, and you keep going. You fail, but that's a data point for learning. You try again, you keep going. At the start, you have that resilience. So thank you for telling me that, for reiterating that. Another thing too about profile, real quick, I wanted to say, in your profile, in that first about you section, what I can ask you guys if you could do for me is that first paragraph needs to be your elevator pitch. Elevator pitch in that first paragraph in your about you. That's what's going to have any person reading your profile interested. Then you can have subsequent paragraphs, et cetera, but that elevator pitch, that thing that should last 30 seconds for someone to read or less, is what you want. And also in your description that's under your name, if you can replace, if anyone, and I don't know who might have it, you can eliminate the looking for a job and kind of state the industry that you have skills in. You can change that a little bit so you can start showing up a little bit more in research. Now, another exercise you need to do, I think most of us have the capability to see how many times you were returned in a search. Does everybody have that? I don't know if you can see it. So, and I don't know if you need to pay the monthly fee to LinkedIn to get that feature, but every week,
Not everybody has it, I can confirm.
to see how many times you were returned, you were
Yeah,
searched.
yeah.
You said not everybody has that?
Everybody has it.
Okay, now here's the thing. You lose nothing by trying different words in how you describe yourself on your profile. So it's going to take time, but from week 2 weeks, see how much that number increases. Forget the how many people viewed your profile. It's a good signal. That's fine. But when you kind of describe yourself in that elevator pitch, when you describe yourself in that right under your profile name, those are key. When you fill up your profile with the skills of building those skills, you have 50 of those that you can put in there. Do not lie. Make sure that whatever skills you put, you actually have concrete data proof that you can perform that job. When you do those, that's how you optimize your LinkedIn.
Greg, can I add something about the last project, the last subject, please? In fact, I can't deny the fact that we are human, and as a human, we need always feedback. We are like models. Without others' feedback, we can't improve our content. And also, we can't deny the fact that the others' feedback always influence the subjects that we are talking about. It's like going into a room and you have plenty of people, let's consider them as your community or the contacts that you have, and you talk about subject that interests you, and the others in community will not react. So you will directly change the subject and align and try to tell something that interests the audience that you have. So I think that feedback is important, and I think that our desire to have likes or dislikes or support or comments is important, and also lets us believe if it is okay or not okay, if I should change some words, because whenever we write something and we don't get feedback, we can't know if we are right or we are wrong, since we are exposing it to the audience and not keeping it to ourselves only, that we want feedback. You know, if we are writing only for ourselves or just publishing content for ourselves, we would just write it down in a draft and keep it to ourselves. But if we are publishing it on social media that we want to get feedback, I'm like this from one point, and from other point, if you find it's like the rules of social networks, you know, either people like what you are doing or just try to change the community and try to limit your community. You know, it's two choices: either change your content in order to get more feedback and evaluate in that domain for inside that community that has certain preferences, or just change the community and limit your community. Because if you are publishing about something in mathematics and your community is not a community that is interested in mathematics, surely you won't get feedback and you will feel like you are talking alone. Or just change your community and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to filter, since I am interested in mathematics, I'm going to filter my audience into people that are interested in mathematics, and like this we can progress together. So yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say.
Fully agree with you, and I always say no feedback is feedback, and to tell you the truth, so what I believe is you need to remove yourself from any feelings that would or of disappointment that would discourage you to change your ways. So you issue the post, it didn't have the reaction you expected. Do not let that stop you, right?
Yeah,
so keep going, try, iterate, and things like that. So
and in that case, maybe changing community and filtering community is important in that case. If you are interested about that content, just try to find the best community. Try to find another room that would be more convenient and where you find people that would be interested in what you are talking about.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure if I made a post about marketing or search engine optimization, I would hear crickets. I know you have two hand raised, but I did have a comment or a direct message from Reed Mita who wants to ask about, who has a question about GitHub. Go ahead, Preet. Is Preet there? Is maybe she's gone. Okay. Preet, if you're on mute, you can unmute yourself, but I don't believe she's here still. Oh, Preet, you're on mute. I don't know if you're talking. Okay, maybe Preet is not there. Let's go ahead with Donabelle. I think Donabelle had the hand raised first.
I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if I'm going to be answering the correct question because I missed the question. But based on the context of what we're talking about, I just wanted to add maybe a not so popular view on posts. So I'm gathering that the question is all about posting and maybe not getting enough feedback or likes. And I know this is not going to be popular because in a data community, measurements, metrics are so key. But sometimes these are the intangibles. Maybe the feedback is not yet. The way I see it sometimes too is if your intent is to help people, sometimes it may take a while, but the best consolation is hearing feedback years from now saying, hey, that one post that you did helped me, saved my life, or whatever that might be, landed me a career. And again, like sometimes it takes time. So I know it's not popular because you're not going to get that many likes, that many views, but I think there is a portion of like kind of quality versus quantity as well, and your intention. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very well said. And allow me to go back to Preet, right? So he said, an inspiring data scientist recently have started working on ML projects and uploaded it on my GitHub profile. Question, does the number of repositories add value to the profile? I'm asking this because I did 7 projects under internship and added them inside a folder. However, the profile shows only 1 repository. This might sound lame. Would be really great if you can answer. Now, here's the way I understand any profile building. You did 7 projects. What you want to do is, not really worry about who views. Let me see. Let me make sure I can answer that the best way possible, and then I'll ask anybody else who has experience with GitHub or more experience than me. To me, it's about building a portfolio that aligns with what you want to be, right? Sometimes it might not be necessary to show all these 7 projects if that's not the industry you want to be on, maybe. But you want to make sure that you are showing those projects with intention to showcase that you can fix issues, because your goal is to not maybe you have 2 goals: one, to teach others to build on these projects, or it could be to showcase to a recruiter that you have the skills to solve issues in that company you're interested in. So look at those 7 projects, take a look at the ones, focus on the ones that relate more to the business you're interested in or the industry you're more interested in. And as long as you have a way to link it to your resume or put it in front of recruiters, it does not matter whether you have 1 repository or 7 or 10. You just want to showcase how many projects you worked on. So I'm going to let the floor on anybody who has more experience with GitHub. Manpreet, I see you raising your hand.
So basically what happens when we were in college, we never knew about this, but then eventually we know when you have a good repo, there are now more companies doing open source projects. So your contribution, even to the smallest peer, like you're correcting their documentation, is also counted a very good contribution. So when you apply to a company, they see that what contributions you have done on GitHub. So basically, they do not see what projects you have had, but they do see the timeline down there that shows green marks and your contributions on months. So they basically see how active you have been in the contributions, and also projects that you upload show your personal interest to that thing. And if you are working currently, there is see how active you have been in the contributions, and machine learning projects are open source, and outreach is especially for women. So if any PhDs call out their graduation, the application gets opened in March, and outreach application is like twice a year for girls. So it's a very good resource learning thing for everyone.
It sounds like Manpreet, if you don't mind, Preet, you can reach out to Manpreet. And I have a couple people here with raised hands, so I'd like to address their questions or hear them out. Deepa?
Yeah, great. So there are a couple of questions I have. So one, you were talking about the search, right? Like how your profile comes on top in LinkedIn search. So is it something more of what you write in your description, or is it your profile or your projects? I mean, has anyone cracked or anyone has an idea? So before I forget that, the next question I have is with the GitHub repo. So I'm a person who have been in the IT industry for for 14 years. I'm now transitioning into the data science field. So how can I make sure that the job suggestions that I'm getting is based on I'm a senior system analyst now, not related to data science. So all the jobs I get is based on my experience in healthcare or retail vertical, but not related to data science. How well can I modify or I mean, what is the best way that I can uh, change my LinkedIn or GitHub to a data science profile? I mean, yeah, these were the questions that I have.
Like, I can answer your second question.
Okay.
So in our last Saturday, when Thom and Abdul came to my show, so they were like, what they do usually is, and everyone, I guess Greg also, what they learn, they put it on GitHub pages, GitHub blogs. So when you put links into this, it is basically that when you want to revise your own concepts, you can go and see, okay, I had learned this and this is how I approached this is where I failed it, and this is how I've been doing it. So last time Greg shared the GitHub pages link as well, how we can make our GitHub profile. I guess it's the best way when you're doing GitHub is from smallest project, your ideas and your things, you can put it with the skills, and eventually there are a lot of people who experiment with building their own stuff, or you can deploy somebody's code and tell where you fail while deploying it, what were the issues you failed. This is what I see.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
So another thing too, I'd like to add, Deepa, is your current situation or your current role is how can you get, with the permission of your manager, how can you get data and start solving them like data science folks do, and then create your inside portfolio and drive value this way. And now you have something to talk about in your resume that you created a project using your company data and you solve it like a data scientist.
Yeah, great. So I tried talking to two of my managers, but since I'm working on I work for Anthem. It's a health insurance company, and they're very much particular about the data. So I failed miserably, I must say. So what I'm trying to do is that's my goal, to do a pet project But now I'm doing personal projects, not with the toy data sets, but with something. I'm doing web scraping now and then, creating my own data to create projects. So that's something that came to me with small things that I could do, but I wanted to ask expert opinions so that I can build a profile.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Kim, you want to say something to Deepa, or you wanted to add to her?
Could I just jump in? Could I jump in to answer her? Yeah, because I work in the same sort of area about the health. Okay, sorry. Go ahead then.
1 second, and also for the profile, Deepa, you had your first question. What I think about is if you're a recruiter, you have some search keywords that you're putting in, and it returns people who are evolving in certain space. So it could be product manager, for example. Do you have product manager or product management in your skills listed in your profile? Do you have it in your about section, or do you have it in your description right under your name? Those are the things that you can think about to make sure you include. And the more you have those words that describes who you are, where you're evolving, the more you will have some search. Kim, if you want to address Deepa, and then I'll go to Vikram.
Thanks.
Ngozi, sorry, Ngozi. Go ahead.
I'll be really quick. Deepa, I think, and we can talk about this later, like just linking up, but I think that you have a huge advantage point in the sense that you understand the systems. Like you actually have an inside view, and you can take the structure and the format of how that data is being used and looked at and say, okay, so what do I recognize from this system? What do I see as a need here that somebody else maybe hasn't seen? And if you really want to add value, try and get data, even create dummy data to build a model that would show how they could look at what they already have and add value to the system in place. Because let's face it, sometimes our managers don't want to hear from us for a very specific reason. They don't want you to shine. And so you have to kind of force your way in there by saying, look, this is what I can do. And you put it out in the world and someone's going to notice, even if your managers don't. So I think there's a guy who does Ken's Nearest Neighbors podcast.
Yeah.
And he did a presentation on the dedicated conference where he spoke about take any little project. You don't have to solve the world. You just need to show people that you are thinking about things, that you work with data, that you can build a problem and solve it. That was like such a big takeaway for me, because I'm the kind of person that wants to build a castle, and really I just need to focus on the stone. And so it's really about seeing what you can do, giving yourself a little mini project and solving that little mini project first.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just build up.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
agree. Yeah. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. Being conscious of time here. Ngozi, if you can go briefly, and then I'll go to Vikram, because we have a couple other people who would like to ask questions. I'd like to give them a chance to ask their questions. Go ahead, Ngozi.
Yeah, very, very quickly. And I think Kim has sort of touched on a lot of the things I wanted to say. And I wanted to jump in because I worked in healthcare for a long time, so I do understand what she's saying. But one thing you can do, just in line with what Kim has said, is if you can apply data science solution to an existing problem that you guys have within your organization in your own time, something that nobody else wants to pick up to do, and that is something I have done before. So you do it in your own time, so that when that pain comes up again, you tell them I've solved it and this is how I solved it. So you get that working in your own time with their data. You might not publish that out, but you would have solved something, a problem that actually exists in an industry that needs it. Yeah, that was just my contribution.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Ngozi. If you already asked your questions, you no longer have a question, can you please make sure you lower the hand? And then also Vikram, I think you're next.
So Greg, this is regarding the GitHub repositories. So what I feel is, even if you have one repository or n number of repositories, our resume or our portfolio will first go to the HR recruiter who has zero knowledge on technical skills or very less. So what I feel is with the it has equal importance to the README section. That is, you have to update very clearly about the project you have done. Like for example, you can do what motivated you to do this project, and you can also give an overview of the project, and you can also give a timeline of it, and you can also provide a section like if you have any errors you can reach out to this or this. So I feel the readme section is more important than the number of repositories you have. And also HR recruiters they don't want to spend more time on resumes. So I advise to have an online portfolio highlighting the importance of the projects. That is, if you have to why you choose that algorithm and what did you achieve choosing this algorithm other than that. It helps you to stand out in the interviews. I feel this. Please share your views on this.
I truly appreciate that, and you're right. My guess is, now I'm not confirmed for me. My guess is a recruiter is not going to spend some time reading your code, but we'll read about the story of why you chose certain projects. So a nice README profile for your projects is very helpful. That gives that person, again, you're building a profile, creating a story for the projects, and where you have that little elevator pitch for whoever's reading it to be interested to see that you in fact solve certain issues. So thank you for this. Unless anybody else want to add more, if not, we can move to the next question.
Yeah, I have something to add for Deepa. Nowadays, health insurances are more and more using AI technologies and machine learning and data science in this field in order to improve this field. So I think you will have a lot of things to do for your company right now. So just don't talk about it like this. Do a proof of concept, and I think as you working in your company, you know what are the things that are missing, and where you can contribute using these technologies. And you can do just a simple proof of concept and talk to one of your managers and give him show him the presentation, what are the things that you can change. Talk to him in his language, because as you working in this company, you can talk to him. And like this, I can share also my experience. Nowadays, I'm working as a data scientist in a vendor company that is selling an AI, an automated machine learning platform. And I wanted to switch to this evangelizing AI products. So I'm not working in the sales team. I am just part of data science team. So what I did a presentation where I showed them what are the things that are missing, why we are not selling enough our platform, and how can I contribute with my profile of data scientist that is interested in contributing to sales. And I just invited the sales director in my company, one of the co-founders, my manager as well, because my data science manager as well, and showed them a presentation that would convince each of the three profiles. And now they are putting me to a project where I can do the thing I want. I think the thing that I would advise you to do, and would be an easier path, I won't tell you to quit your job and just look for a data science thing, but I want to tell you, just take the advantage that you know what are the problems remaining in your company, what is missing. Just take the privilege of a person that is working there and knowing what is missing enough, and try to deal with it during data science. Let it be your side project, okay? And once you feel ready enough, do a presentation, invite them. And even if you are working in office, invite them for a coffee and show them what do you want to show. Or if you are working from home also as well, tell them go on Discord or anything, any menu that you are using to connect with each other, and try to engage the conversation or ask them for a meeting, you know. And yeah, just take your time, write down what are the things that are missing that I can solve using AI. And also read a lot of articles. There are plenty of articles that are telling about the use of machine learning and AI technologies in the health insurance companies, and try to get inspiration from those articles and also this from the situation in your company. And I think at the end you will come a few weeks after, and you tell us that they will accept, because for them what motivates them that you would contribute and you would not cost them to recruit another person. Show them that you are the person that is already existing and coming with solutions to problems that are existing in the company, you know. So
Yeah,
this is what I think about. And hard luck, Deepa.
That's definitely great solid advice, and I fully agree with you, Zina. Very well stated. And I do have a similar story along that line too. And Deepa, to add to that too, make sure you interview, right? It's good to say, oh, I know what's missing, but for you to be sure that this is in fact missing, interview those you think you want to you want to serve, so they can confirm that there's an issue. And with that, I'll share you my quick story. I think I talked about it recently too. Is that my previous role, I was a product manager, performing pricing, optimizing margin. So I was supporting commercial team. They were taking so long to issue quotes that it was kind of ridiculous. So for me, I started interviewing, saying, "Why do you take so long?" And then I said, "Okay, let me put a scrappy solution together." Power BI was my front end interaction for showing prices and things like that. And then I said, okay, I know you have this pinpoint. Can you please tell me whenever those quotes are coming in, we'll do an exercise. I'll give you my quote. And then whenever you receive one, and you tell me how long it took you to find those information. They started channeling those quotes to me within a day. Boom, I said, okay, for these customers, we should charge them XYZ for the next 2-year contract, 3-year contracts, and things like that. This proof of concept worked. They started asking more questions, and I started iterating that tool, adding more features to it, like, hey, can you also do multiple currencies in there? Added that feature. Now, can you automate the currency updates? Work with data engineers, created this pipeline that refreshed the future currencies. And now this tool has 49 currencies where you can kind of take a look at by volume, how much rebate you give to your customer, how much in the contract and things like that. So those are the things that they didn't think about, right? They were going through that issue of spending a week or more to issue a quote to a customer, and that customer had enough time to shop around to another company and get a quote from another company and say, thank you, I don't need you anymore, and things like that. So I was able to reduce that to 1 day. Within 1 day, you can pull all that information about that customer or that product or whatever raw materials based from, and then issue the quote rapidly. So all of this was from interviewing and figuring out a scrappy way of solving issues like a data scientist would do.
And Greg, I want to add something which I call the winning sentence. Tell them what's happening, how your competitors, other health insurance companies are doing, how they are using these technologies, how they are convincing and attracting more and more the clients, and how they are like increasing their clients and their clients are more and more satisfied thanks to these technologies. Tell them names of companies that they are afraid of and they are considering while they are progressing. And I think this sentence, I'm seeing X in health insurance company, play also on their desire to to be better than the other competitors, you know. So play on this, tell them, you know, this X health insurance company, I don't know if you know about it, but they are excelling in using these technologies, and they, by the way, they have increased their clients by such percentage, you know. Talk about the companies that exist in your country, okay, that are using these technologies, and also after that tell them about a health insurance company that is well known and that has been using this a long time ago, you know. For example, for me, I went for competitors that are known doing the same kind of platforms, and I told them, you know, they have data evangelists from a long time ago, and I showed them other companies that are really competitors with my company, and showed them, you know, they had this concept, this job 3 years ago, and this is how they are doing. And I already also try to talk to data scientists from other health insurance company in order to get their feedback as well. So I think if you take into contact, I don't know who talked already about this, so try to get into contact with the person that told you that she works in health insurance company, and try to ask her, since she's existing here she's here with us, try to get contact with her after this meeting and try to interact with her. Maybe she will have some answers. So yeah, those are all the things that I want. Thank you, Deep.
Awesome, Zina, and especially if you're helping commercial teams, for example, one thing they really like is a SWOT analysis, right? So is it strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats? It's a good way to build a case. I know, Kim, you asked me to provide like a 4.4 view of a thinking process to make something like that happen, right? So to me, it starts with understanding the business. That's the first thing. Understanding current state. You're not trying to solve anything. You're learning about the business. By learning, that's how you start asking questions, and asking questions will help you surface pain points. Once you have those pain points, now you can start building like a business case. You're putting a framework around how to solve that pain point. And with that, how to solve that pain point includes some data science skills or solution to address those pain points. And that's how you get the buy-in. And that solution can come in the form of a scrappy solution, a proof of concept that you align the key stakeholders around. Because before you release it to the world, you want to have key stakeholders that stand strongly around you, that says that proof of concept, I'm willing to take a bet that it will work. And if it doesn't work, this is how we can do about it. You want to have those people around you before you go full delivery of that solution. So that's one thing I can say. Tom, you have a question? Oh, Kim, you wanted to add something?
I just wanted to ask, like, when you are putting together that scrappy test, so, when I think about how you can test a concept, really what you're trying to do is find the simplest, the most actionable test that you can do, because there's lots of different things that we can show management, right? There's lots of ways to perform something. And what I was really trying to get at is when you were talking to those guys and saying for the quotes, what made you think, okay, what I need most is to figure out what the time lag is coming from, right? So like when you're thinking of the problem at hand, how are you identifying what the most important component of that problem is? And I think that kind of thing of like asking yourself, okay, how do I, almost in the way that Tom and Gaith are looking at machine learning as a whole, how do you capture this process of a need? And where do you find the tube that is what leads to everything else? Where do you find the pipe that you need to fix in that pipeline?
Sure.
I guess that's.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. So in my case personally, so it was the interview is what gave me the most things that I needed. So for example, in my case, asking a question like what's in a quote is one. and how do you build a quote? And with that, I had a couple answers like, oh, I need marketing to chip in. I need to know where to source the product. Where should we ship the product from? What volume, what capacity do we have to produce this product? What is the volume the customer is asking for? What is the price? What region do we want to sell? So which means what is the currency, et cetera, et cetera. What is our value chain looking like? So all these signals, I took those and I said, okay, with that means these guys who are not good at fetching data, they had to go to each department. So I mentioned marketing, I mentioned shipping, transportation, inventory, all these guys. Those are groups that they have to consult with to make sure they bring them all together to prepare a quote. Hence the need to take, a lot of time to quote a company. Meanwhile, one of their biggest pain point was our biggest competitor at the time was so good at responding that they were stealing a lot of customers, or they were gaining a lot of customers, right? So with all these signals, I was like, okay, how is our structure right now? What are the tools we use to attract data, to get data? In my case, SAP was the whole ERP system. We had a data warehouse there. I had to learn where to find all of these data sets. Had to ask for access and understand how to query it, clean it a little bit, and see if I can leverage something like Power BI, who's able to set up data pipelines, do some ETL jobs, and bring them all under one platform, and see how I can create value. That's pretty much it. But long story short, the interview is what will give you most of the things that you need, and then you work backwards towards that. That interview is that pain point. You work backwards to figure out where to get the things you need to solve the issue. Tom, you have a question.
I actually have to, excuse me, take over logistically speaking. And we can continue from here next week, but this was amazing. Thanks everyone for being patient. There were so many questions today. Greg, thank you. I hope we didn't wear you out. And the only thing I want to close with, guys, is let's remember all of this is a process. I can assure you, if you are anything like me, when you start practicing some of the things we've talked about and you're new at it, you're just going to suck at it at first. But don't give up. It's worth mastering all these things we've talked about. And I think we can go to the hour, Greg, but I just want to, let's make sure, I do need to, for the recording's sake, which Guy left in my hands, we just need to, it'd probably be best if we just wrapped up here. Quick show of hands. Do we need Greg to continue next week? Do we want to move to a new thing? Okay, Greg, we'll keep going.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I was like
good.
screaming in order to express
we'll
my excitement.
Yeah, we'll just pick up from here next week. And Greg, it might be good. By the way, your real men here are Sai, Vikram, and Chantanil. They can help you with their notes on what you've said, so you know the best place to pick up from. It might be good to backtrack some, because we had a peak of 41 and we're at 25 now. And it's humans, right? So I'm going to go ahead and end, but it's not an end, it's a pause, so we can pick up next week. And I'm putting on another hat now. Damn it. Don't be late to class, students. You don't want to see mean, Tom. You don't want to see mean, Dr. Ives. Show up to class on time, or I will send you down to the principal's office for a spanking. All right. I love you guys. Everybody wave.
I got some late arrivers. You guys want to say hi?
Wow, that's
oh, bye, little creatures.
Bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you for this honor. I appreciate it.
That
it was fun.
That was awesome.
Thank you for doing me this honor.
Thanks, Greg.